In the fast-paced realm of Hollywood, few stories unfold with as much drama and intrigue as that of Rachel Zegler. Once celebrated as the rising star with a lead in Disney's live-action Snow White, she now finds herself at the epicenter of a firestorm of controversy. What led to her downfall? How did a young actress, adored by many, become the target of ridicule and backlash? Join us as we unravel the twists and turns of Rachel Zegler's recent journey, exploring the viral moment that shook her career and left audiences questioning. Can she rise from the ashes? The catalyst. Things took a dramatic turn in Rachel Zegler's career when a seemingly innocent video from her bedroom went viral, serving as the catalyst for the controversy surrounding her. In this candid moment, Zegler expressed her frustrations about the critical response to her portrayal of Snow White, feeling cornered and misunderstood. But instead of resonating with supporters, her comments struck a deep chord of criticism across social media platforms. As clips of her emotional confession spread like wildfire, TikTok creators jumped on the opportunity to remix her words into satirical skits. What was initially a plea for empathy quickly spiraled into a caricature of her character, creating a meme phenomenon that left Zegler at the mercy of internet users, who twisted her intent into something humorous yet cutting. This unexpected backlash rattled the very foundations of her rising stardom, turning her into the subject of countless jokes while amplifying the scrutiny of her ongoing projects. The irony? Zegler aimed to reclaim control over the narrative, but instead solidified her position in a whirlwind of memes and mockery. This shocking shift in public perception became the backdrop against which her larger career challenges began to unfold, leading to severe repercussions in the Hollywood landscape. The cautionary tale of how quickly things can turn sour is one that echoes within the walls of Tinseltown, leaving everyone wondering, how could one video change everything? The fallout begins. What initially seemed like a simple act of self-expression spiraled out of control, propelling Rachel Zegler into the tempest of viral fame. After the controversial bedroom video made waves on social media, the backlash set in almost immediately. Instead of rallying support, fans and critics alike began dissecting her words. The irony of her defiant tone became the punchline for countless TikTok creators, who seized the opportunity to remix her claims into comedic sketches that not only mocked her message, but also amplified the scrutiny surrounding her. For every sympathetic voice that sprang up in her defense, there seemed to be 10 more that reveled in her misfortune. Zegler's name soon trended on Twitter, but not for any reasons she had hoped for. Memes flooded the platform, showcasing her words in exaggerated and humorous contexts, framing her as out of touch with the very audience she aimed to connect with. The disconnect was stark, as laughter often masked a deeper, more persistent ride of disbelief from viewers who perceived her attitude as symptomatic of a privileged star unable to relate to the everyday struggles of her fanbase. With each new video, the narratives around Zegler grew harsh. Online sentiment, which can shift like the wind, turned drastically against her. Supporters felt alienated as other fans expressed frustration over her perceived victim mentality. The laughter morphing into scorn forced her into an unexpected and isolating silence as Zegler weighed whether to double down on her previous statements or pivot her approach and try to mend her public persona. Amidst the chaos, Zegler's attempts to clarify her message fell flat, only adding fuel to the fire. With every new statement and social media post, she seemed to dig herself deeper into a pit of controversy. But things would only escalate further as the fallout continued to unfold, leading many to wonder just how long it would take for Rachel Zegler to navigate her way back into the industry's good graces. Next up, we delve into the financial repercussions of the controversy with the release of Snow White. Could this be a turning point for Zegler's career? Stay tuned. Analyzing the numbers. The reality of Rachel Zegler's situation became even more pronounced as the numbers began to roll in. The highly anticipated Snow White, with a staggering production budget of $250 million, was expected to be a box office triumph. However, as the opening weekend unfolded, the film managed to pull in a mere $45 million domestically. This staggering discrepancy didn't just raise eyebrows. It sent shockwaves through the industry. Analysts and movie buffs alike were left scratching their heads, questioning whether audiences had been deterred by Zegler's public persona or if the film's reimagining truly missed the mark. From casting controversies to changing the beloved story, fans seemed unwilling to embrace a narrative they once cherished. To put it in perspective, Snow White marked one of Disney's most controversial projects in recent years, especially given that similar adaptations had thrived at the box office just a few years back. The industry was left analyzing what went wrong. Was it just a misstep in storytelling? Or were Zegler's comments leading up to its release sealing its fate as a monumental flop? Critics highlighted that audience reception is often swayed not only by the film's content, but also by the celebrity associated with it. Zegler's growing reputation for speaking candidly about the industry's issues led some to view her as a disruptive force, while others deemed her attitude off-putting. With every box office report, the stakes mounted. Could Rachel Zegler win the audience back? Or would this financial fallout be the defining moment of her career? As reports of disappointment continued to emerge, the figures indicated that her journey to recovery would be far trickier than anticipated, raising questions about the future of Zegler and the darker turn of Hollywood fandom. Backlash and isolation. As the online discourse continued to spiral, Rachel Zegler found herself at the epicenter of a cultural storm. What once seemed like a promising career suddenly felt like a tightrope walk. Social media platforms erupted with memes and clips mocking her persona, often twisting her intentions into humorous parodies. Fans and critics alike began to question her authenticity, leading to a growing divide in public opinion. Industry whispers turned into notable silences, as colleagues who once cheered for her success became distant or reticent in their support. While some stars rushed to her defense, others remained conspicuously absent, casting a shadow over her achievements. The once celebrated newcomer sat alone at premiere gatherings, grappling with the reality of isolation in an industry built on visibility and connection. In a further twist, casting directors and producers began to second-guess their choices. Those projects that had been lined up for her seemed to dwindle, leaving Rachel to ponder the fragility of fame. The glitz and glamour that once defined her rise transformed into shadows of doubt and disappointment. Was this the beginning of the end? Or could she turn her narrative around in a profession where the spotlight is both a blessing and a curse? As Zegler navigated this turbulent period, the unpredictability of her career loomed large. Could she bounce back from the backlash and reforge connections in an industry that often forgets those who fall? And what sort of redemption arc could silence the critics and bring her back into the fold? The stakes were high, and the resolution uncertain. Media missteps. Amid Rachel Zegler's rise to fame, her media interactions took a sharp turn for the worse. In a series of interviews, she made bold statements about the original Snow White, labeling it as an outdated tale that did not resonate with contemporary audiences. While her intention may have been to redefine the narrative for a modern era, fans of the classic story felt blindsided by her comments. Many took to social media platforms to vent their frustration, declaring that she had disrespected a beloved part of Disney's legacy. But the miscommunications didn't stop there. During a pivotal press event, Zegler's responses came off as dismissive. Instead of engaging with her audience, she seemed detached, sending the message that she was uninterested in their sentiments. This disconnect only fueled the fire, and soon, memes and criticism spread like wildfire. Viewers wondered if she was truly prepared for the magnitude of her role, or if she was simply swept away by her newfound stardom. The fallout escalated quickly. and the media buzz transitioned from excitement around her acting to skepticism about her capability as a leading lady. Several industry experts began exploring whether Zegler could recover from these public relations blunders, speculating on her ability to connect with audiences in a meaningful way moving forward. In her effort to make waves, Rachel unintentionally created a chasm between herself and the very fans she hoped to inspire. With the looming reality of her recent film's poor reception, it became imperative for her to reevaluate her approach to media interactions. The question now remains, how will she navigate these turbulent waters and mend the image that has become increasingly fractured? What happened next would leave everyone wondering if she could find her footing once again in a fickle industry. Reevaluation and consequences. As the dust began to settle from the media frenzy, industry insiders took a step back to reevaluate Rachel Zegler's position in Hollywood. The initial star power and charisma she showcased seemed overshadowed by her recent controversies, leaving many to question, could she still salvage her career? Major studios were now watching closely, assessing not just her talent, but also the potential backlash associated with her projects. Would audiences even support her next roles, or was the damage done beyond repair? In the wake of these events, Zegler found herself at a crossroads. Some fans remained loyal, hoping for a comeback, while others jumped ship, citing a series of missteps that had overshadowed her talent. Rumors began swirling. Would she step back from the spotlight to reflect and regroup? Or would she double down and risk further alienation? The stakes could not have been higher. After all, in an industry that thrives on public perception, one misstep could lead to a swift descent into obscurity. As whispers of her future began to fill the air, it became clear that her next move could define the next chapter of her career. The clock was ticking, and the question on everyone's lips was, how would Rachel Zegler respond to the challenges ahead? The industry's eyes are glued to her every step, awaiting her next play in a narrative filled with tension and uncertainty. Rachel Zegler's fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale in an era of heightened scrutiny. Once a promising beacon of talent, she now finds herself navigating the treacherous waters of public perception and industry expectations. As she grapples with the consequences of her actions, the question remains, can she find the resilience to rise from this tumultuous chapter? Or will she become just another name in Hollywood lore who couldn't handle the pressure? One thing is certain, viewers are watching closely, and the story is far from over. Keep your eyes peeled. We might just witness a comeback narrative more dramatic than anything we could have imagined.